Recording is on, and I hope we've got everything set. But hey, I know pretty much everybody on the call is probably familiar with us. Maybe somebody isn't or whatever. So we're going to start out by just kind of sharing our story, what Reliv has done for us in that. And then we'll just get into share some of the basics of doing this business, but also maybe throw in some things that we've experienced over the years in that too. Obviously, in this business, you want to work closely with your upline support or your support team in this business, and that's really where you're going to find, the things to do and things like that. So I don't want to challenge anything that you guys are already learning in that too. With that, Joyce, why don't you go ahead and start?
Sure, I would love to. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Joyce Holthaus, and as Steve said, we live in Mundelein, Illinois, where we woke up to about an inch of snow this morning. So for those of you in California and Arizona, gives you a little picture of what we're looking at out of our window today. And I was sharing with Quila, I got certified back in August. I thought it'd be a fun idea and I got certified to teach Pound Fitness. And so I just actually got back from teaching my Pound Fit class, which if you're not familiar with Pound Fit, it was the first time I saw or heard anything about it was on This Is Us. And when Kate went to the weight loss camp, they had it, and I thought it looked fun, and I took a class to get certified, and now I'm teaching it, and it's really a lot of fun, and it's a great connection. In fact, the gal that owns the studio, her and her husband, Steve and I are getting together with them about Reliv and the business and the products. So it's a great way, because when people find out that I'm 64 and I'm teaching this class, they're like, are you kidding me? And even some of the people that know us and that know me, they're like, I can't believe you can do that. So, again, thanks to Fit3 and thanks to Reliv. So our story starts, though, 24 years ago. Steve and I were, we had two young kids. Our son was almost 7. Our daughter was 11. We owned a small business. Steve was working 60 to 80 hours a week. I was working with him in that, and we were on the verge of bankruptcy. It was a really scary time for our family. And a friend of mine that I was in a women's Bible study with knew our situation, and she was taking the products and getting great results with digestive problems. And she said, these products are so good that people are building businesses around them. I don't know if it's for you or not, but it doesn't cost you anything to learn more. And so we sat down with her. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I didn't believe in supplementing. I thought the business was sales. My background is computers and accounting. And so but Steve was more open-minded. He said, look, we've been praying for answers. What if? And so, he said, I'm going to take the products. It's got 100% money-back guarantee. So he started using the products, took it faithfully and consistently, began to notice that he had more energy. He was handling stress better, wasn't craving the coffee and the junk food. He's gone on to see amazing results with cluster migraine headaches, sinus problems, joint pain. He's going to be 66 next Saturday, and you know what? I mean, he can keep up with our 5 grandkids and our brand new puppies. So, from that standpoint, we love what the products have done for him. But as he was getting those results, we became more intrigued, and I became a little more open-minded, and we actually went to an event that was about an hour away from us. And when I heard the stories and met the people, that's when my heart softened. And I loved, one of the stories I heard that night was a woman whose son had gotten off of Ritalin for his ADHD. Our son was getting ready to start first grade and had ADD. I did not want him labeled in the school system or put on medication. He got phenomenal results on the products, graduated high school in the top 20% of his class a semester early, was never labeled, never medicated. Today he's a full-time worship pastor. He does everything. He does video and video editing. He writes songs. It's just amazing. And, his spouse and their kids still use the products to this day. Our daughter, who was 11 at the time, was dealing with bad allergies, and she was sick all the time from the time she was an infant. She got started on these products, as I said, at 11 years old. That winter was the first winter of her life. She didn't need an antibiotic. The eczema on her skin cleared up. And same thing, now she's used them as prenatal. Her and her husband and 2 girls are on the products as well. We actually have 4 generations on the products right now. Steve's mom, who's 92, down to our youngest grandchild, who's 2.5. And, for me, I would have told you I was perfectly healthy, but I wasn't. I had low iron issues. I had periodontal disease. I had a skin allergy to the sun called sun poisoning. And I was dealing with premenopause issues. I'd always had horrible PMS. I was mood swings and all that kind of stuff. And all those issues became non-issues. In fact, I just had my well check at my doctor 2 weeks ago. I got the call. My blood work is great. My good cholesterol is up even more. My triglycerides are down. And, for someone who always had low iron issues, I don't have them at all anymore. And I love the fact that I take absolutely no medication. I'm healthy, energetic, and I don't look, feel, or act my age. So from a product standpoint, we love this. I love the preventative side of Reliv. Since Fit 3 came out, oh, my gosh. And that was the other thing that I've never heard before in my doctor's office. Even last year, because, Fit 3 was new and we had just gotten started. But this year I was told that I have a very healthy BMI. and I love that. She's like, you're in a great weight. And that's thanks to Fit 3. Not only have I lost weight, but I've really gotten in good shape. And doing the workouts. I love the challenges they have right now. Yesterday was fruitcake. I was laughing. I thought, oh my gosh, on Thursday I'm an angel. On Friday I'm a fruitcake. And I haven't done my one for today yet because I got up early and left to go do pound. But I love the Fit 3 community, the program. I love everything about it. And so, that's our health story. But Steve, one of the big things, the biggest need that our family had back then was financial, and maybe you could share that part of our story.
I would love to, because I think that's really our greatest success, because it was the greatest need. Back then, we were, I was getting into my later 30s, and I was just getting so tired of working for someone else. Most of my work experience have been in sales, and you work hard, they divide your territory, give it to somebody else, and I've experienced that several times. So we decided to start our own business. It wasn't Reliv. It was actually home delivery of milk, the old-time milkman, and we poured our heart and soul into that. All the money we had, we cashed in our retirement stuff, everything. We put it all in there, borrowed money from family members, my mom. And, after 2.5, 3 years, it didn't work. We were on the verge of bankruptcy. And Joyce said we were praying for something. And Reliv wasn't the first thing that came along. There was several other things that friends introduced to me in ways that I just was really uncomfortable in that. But Joyce's friend really heard the need and basically just said, you know what, this may be an answer to prayer. You ought to check it out. And even though I drank over 24 cups of coffee a day, I lived on junk food and fast food and enjoyed all that stuff, was looking forward to it. And that the fact that it was a nutritional product, I just said, hey, let's try it. It's got the 100% money back guarantee on it. Joyce, I think fell off her chair and thinking that, yeah, right, you're going to try a nutritional product and that. But I did. And I saw results, more energy. The depression was lifting. I wasn't drinking as much coffee and eating as much junk food and that. I started to feel better. What I started to feel is that I had hope again, that our lives weren't over. We weren't going to lose the house. We weren't going to be living on the street somewhere. I was going to be able to provide for my family like they deserved it and like I wanted to. And that, we became distributors, and we got the rest of the family on the product. We got some friends that were in our inner type circle, a guy I worked with, people we knew at church, some other friends in that, and they started to see results. Joyce went through the things that our kids started to see in that too. But what really meant a lot to me is the fact that, obviously if the product didn't work, we wouldn't be involved in this and things like that. But the first month that we were involved, we earned a little over $500, and that was strictly in retail profits. And, I said, you know what, that this could be an answer to prayer. And we just kept pouring ourselves into it. We were doing it part-time, juggling both, trying to salvage what I could out of the dairy business and get this business going. But the second month, the second form of income opened up, and that was wholesale income. We made a little over $800, some retail, some wholesale. But what was meaningful to me is that this couple that was about a year and a half ahead of us was doing well, and they were in our upline. We were like 4 levels down in that, but they saw our need, they saw our desire, and mentored us, and the things that they were telling us that would happen if you did this was happening and that. So, my belief started to grow, not only in the products, but also in the people that we were working with in that too. And we did this part-time all the way through 94, first couple months of 95. But in 94, just doing it part-time, our income with Reliv in the first 4 forms was a little over $30,000. That tripled in 1995 when we started doing this full-time. In 96, we started to earn a 6-figure yearly income with this, and we have pretty much every year since, not every year, but we've earned some form of a 6-figure yearly income. We've enjoyed a lot of travel with Reliv. We've been on tremendous trips with some people that are on this line on the training call this morning, and that's the other side of it, the people that you meet, the friendships that you make, and that is just absolutely amazing. So, we've been doing it for 24 plus years. It is not old. We never get tired of it. We have no plans to retire. I've seen so many people that I've talked to and friends that I've known that they work so hard, they retire, and their life just seems to fall apart. It's like downhill from there. It's because they don't have something meaningful and with a purpose, and that's what we have with Reliv. Because of what we have and what we do, we can make great incomes. We can travel the world, but we have a purpose. We're changing people's lives in a slight way or in a big way. It's all important. But so that's what's happened for us. What I'm going to do is we are going to talk a little bit about the basics of this business. But before I get into that, I think it's really important that really the most important thing in this business is belief. So often people are coming into this from a work environment or at least some type of environment where they have not been self-employed or trying to start their own business and that too. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot thrown at them. Their expectations may be way too high and things like that. But the biggest things that we need to adopt in this business is, number one, a belief in the product. And these aren't in any particular order in that too. And that's about the easiest thing with Reliv, because we do have the best product out there, hands down. That's just a given. And so it's a belief in the product. Then it's the belief in the people that you're working with, the people that go to the meetings that you go to, if you're attending meetings, or the in-homes, or your upline and things like that. It's going to be very, very important that, you guys are on the same page and stuff like that. Also the company, the corporate people in that, as you get to know them, hey, am I comfortable with them? Do I believe in them? Can I allow them to lead me in that? And network marketing too. Now that's about probably the one of the beliefs that come a little later on, is belief in actually the industry that we're in. Believe it or not, there still are some people that are a little skeptical of it, and it's because they don't understand it. And that's our job, to teach them in a very realistic way. We don't want to oversell and overpromise, and that we don't have to. Our compensation plan is so good that you just go out and talk to people, and they start taking these products. You get paid for it. And because of that, they share it with other people. Now, that doesn't happen overnight, but belief in what we do is very, very important too. Now, the biggest thing for us, this stuff all happened like in the first 6 months that we were involved in our business. January of 94, we went to a conference in San Diego. Now, we were still really broke and in debt and all that, but we invested in ourselves, went to that conference, and because of the people that were there, the people that we met, us investing in them and engaging in that, and vice versa, we left that conference with a belief in ourselves that we could do this. We didn't know if it was going to take us 20 years or 5 years or what, but we made a commitment to ourselves that we were going to do this no matter what. And you're going to hit some walls and you're going to have some challenges, but if you believe in yourself that you can do this, and you get yourself a support team that you really can trust and they can hold you accountable and things like that, you know what? This business is easy. It is. It's you're going to have challenging times, and there's going to be things that are going to stretch you and grow you to be a tremendous person in other areas of your life and that too. So I think that belief is very, very important in what we do, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it will happen as long as you invest in yourself, whether it's some skills that you might need to learn, people skills, leadership skills, things like that, or the basics that we're going to talk about here. Now, I'll get into the basics of this business, and it is basics. This business is common sense. It really is. There's really 5 different fundamental things that we do in this business. But really what drives this business is people. No matter if you're brand new, if you're in this for 5 years, if you're in this for 25 years or whatever, your business is all about bringing new people into it. That's always going to keep it fresh and growing, but it's also going to keep you fresh and growing. And that there's nothing better than seeing someone get involved in this, and even with the results they see on the product, and the fact that they're starting to make some income and this is starting to grow for them, that gives Joyce and I tremendous satisfaction. So we got our basic fundamentals. It's talking to people, and we have a whole system of support, things you do on daily activities, corporate support, and support in various types of meetings, whether online meetings, webinars, in homes, and things like that. So let's talk about this first, one of the first fundamentals. It's identify. All we're really talking about here is, hey, who am I going to go talk to? And it's real simple. If they haven't heard about Reliv, then you want to put their name down. And this step is very, very important. And it's not just a one-time activity that you're going to do. So it's important to learn it right and learn the exercise right in the beginning. So as you teach this and it duplicates, it's only going to grow and become stronger and stronger and stronger as people's businesses grow. But the whole idea here is, this business is all about action. And this is where you start taking action. You can make this very difficult, or you can just really let your mind go. Don't prejudge people, and easy to say, but we've done it in the past, and we catch ourselves sometimes doing it now, and that too. Don't prejudge anybody. All you really want to do at this step is get their names down, first name, last name, relationship, or whatever information you can put down. That's great. And like I said again, now as people are coming into this, what you want to do is sit down. If you sponsor somebody new, sit down with them. If you can do it as soon as they sign the distributor application, that is great. If you can set a half hour aside and go through, there's a booklet that we have that will give you memory joggers and place to write down the names and things like that. Make use of those materials, those tools that Reliv has provided for you. And the more names you can get down, the better it is. And again, this is something that just doesn't you do this one time and that's it. You're going to keep adding people to your list. And your list is a circular. Some people believe in, you talk to somebody, they say no, you cross them off and you move on. Well, I say you don't cross them off. I say you respect that, and you say, well, listen, I really respect that. I'm new, obviously, in that too. Very excited. Hey, can I check in with you in a couple months and just kind of update you on what's happening for me, and maybe things have changed for you? Because what has happened is people are thinking, well, yeah, okay, this is new. I've heard about one of these things, or you've been involved in other things, or whatever, or for whatever reason, they're just not ready to listen now. But you brought it to their attention, and believe me, they're going to be watching you. And you believe in yourself, you stick with it, you invest in yourself, and you come back in a couple months, and now you're making some income in that, and you've shared it with some other people. You have credibility, and they may be ready to listen, they may not. But I always leave the door open in that there too. So, okay, that's a little bit on Identify. Now, let's go to, I think I've pretty much covered all this stuff. Let's talk about Connect. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult mind-wise. And you want to have the proper mindset, and I suggest you work with your sponsor or possibly somebody in your upline ambassador. And that I love making calls with people that are just getting involved in that. We take their list. What they'll do is they'll pick 5-10 people out that we're going to call, and we set an hour apart, and I talk a little bit about it. They tell me a little bit about it, and I keep this to about 15 seconds because we may have a tendency to talk a lot, and the more we talk, the less I have to call, that type of thing. So I get somewhat of an idea about who they are. Well, hey, why did you think of them? It's okay if you just thought of them about the product, and then we'll address our introduction to Reliv in that way. You want to be yourself in this process. You want to share excitement, but genuine excitement. If you're really an introvert, and I'm on the introverted side, Joyce is on the extroverted side, we approach people differently. And if I was to be something different, especially the people that know me, that's going to be a red flag right away. So be excited, be yourself. And there's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, you know what? I got involved with something that I thought I'd be interested in. You mentioned something in that too. The whole idea here is to set an appointment. Okay. Now, these are some examples of what you can say, and these are just examples. Number one, Kathy, hey, I know your health is a priority, the way you live and all you talk and things like that. Now, yeah, I just got involved with a company that I think would really fit your lifestyle. When can we get together? Here's something. Hey, John, you're at a soccer game. You mentioned your finances that are tight, and that you know what, they're tight for us too, but I've gotten involved with something that's taken a lot of stress out of the family, financial stress, and that. So you get the idea. Just ask and listen to what they say. So much of this business, we aren't taught this stuff in school and as we go on in life. I think it's happening more and more and more, but it's to listen to people. And they will tell you what's going on in their lives, and they will lead you. They will show you the need. And all we need to do is listen and say, hey, you know what? I got something I'm involved in that it's done wonders for me. I don't know if it's for you. That's what Joyce's friend said to us. I don't know if it's for you, but hey, it doesn't cost you anything to take a look at it. And there's a lot of tools and stories available to help you in this area. Hang on one second. Joyce mentioned, I think Quila and Joyce were talking about, we just got a puppy about, it's about 2.5 months old or whatever. We just had it for a few weeks now. And Joyce's turn is coming up to do her part of the training, and I just heard her take the puppy out. So hang on one second. I apologize. So what I'm going to do is just keep moving on here. The next fundamental that we talk about here is share the Reliv story. Okay, you've you've connected with this person, and it's time to share the Reliv story. You want to share your why, your belief. You want to share from your heart. Okay, there's that belief again, and you want to share the whole Reliv story. Now, it doesn't matter. It does this set an appointment, and here again, if your upline is a little more different than this, that's okay. But definitely follow what they're doing in that too. But there are going to be times where you may have an opportune moment, or you may connect with someone, and it just so happens that you were able to share your why, your heart, your belief, the products, the opportunity. It just, they're asking questions, you're answering them, and they say, you know what, hey, I'd like to try it. Well, you know what, you just did the appointment, and go ahead and get them started on the products and get them going. And then you're going to introduce them to other people. You're going to introduce them to your upline. You're going to introduce them to stories that are valid to them, whether it's introduction through online stuff or whatever you choose to use. But we always want to share the whole story. Again, be yourself, be excited, don't go overboard and get all syrupy and you know, to the point where they're like, okay, pushing you away, that type of thing. But share the whole Reliv story, even if they're just interested in the products. I've done this many a times where they said, you know, I'm just interested in the products and that. Now, I'll start out and say, you know what, I hear you loud and clear, I understand. Obviously, it's a great opportunity because it's what we're doing and things like that. And I'm going to share, you know, what's happened for us in the business, with the business, in my story, so they know that there is an opportunity available to them. And so often what has happened is people start to see results with the product, and they start hearing some stories, meeting some people. They start liking Reliv. And now the business opportunity is a possibility, and more times it opens up in one way, shape, or form in that. So there's different ways, different tools that Reliv has available for you. There's the opportunity book that they have. There's slides. There's videos. There's online stuff, reliv.com, getting started. There's webinars, in-homes, a lot of different things that you can use to go ahead and share the Reliv story. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick the stories that, the things that are more applicable, that fit your lifestyle, okay? Whether it's, you know, meetings and events. Some people are really, hey, that's my thing, you know, and they do a good job with it. In-home parties are very popular in that. In fact, we had an ambassador call last week where Ryan Montgomery, president of Reliv, was sharing his experience of the in-homes that he went out and was a part of with Chris and Karen Ederer in Minnesota. And he was just absolutely impressed with the participation.
All right, come on, let's go home.
Joyce?
Come on, buddy.
Joyce, hang on one second. We're getting live puppy stuff from outside. Sorry about that. Hey, I bet you this is the first training list like this. But the in-homes, they're great. People are they feel comfortable, and you know, however you want to do them, you know, there's all sorts of different ways and all of that too. And of course, we do a webinar. There's I think 14, 15 ambassadors that participate in this, and every Monday night at 7:30 Central Time, there's a webinar, and we try to keep it short. Sometimes it's hard because sometimes the stories go a little longer and all of that. But another great way to introduce people to Reliv, and those things are recorded too. So if there's some particular one you liked, you can always use that. And that's on hand at any time. There's conference calls. There's your upline. You want to help new people get engaged in what we have. Lifestyle Magazine, Reliv blog, the video tools in that. And know this, you don't have to know it all. It's okay to say, you know what, I don't know. I'm new, but I'll tell you what, I'm working with a fabulous person, becoming a great friend, or maybe they've been a friend already, and I'd love to introduce you to them and that, or you know what, I don't know, but hey, I'll get back to you. One thing that I like to do is people are, talking and they're opening up as they get to know you and that, and things come out about their health and that, and say, you know what, let me do a little work and a little networking, and I know there's people that have seen tremendous results with that, whether it's migraines or whatever the case may be, and that, and what you're basically saying to them, you know what, let me do a little work for you. And you connect these people to those stories, and that you're getting them engaged in the whole process, and that, and they start to really feel connected, and that. So now, ask for a decision. I think Joyce is back. Hang on. All right. You've some people might say you don't even have to ask for a decision. You if you lay everything out, you share your belief, your why, and the products and the company and that, and they may just say, you know what, okay, I'm ready, so you don't need to ask for a decision, but you want to be prepared to ask for a decision. So many times, especially with new distributors, in that they'll just keep talking and go on and on and on because they're afraid to ask for this decision. And that you want to be prepared. Have products on hand. When we first started, we always had a lot of products and stuff in our trunk, and we were ready. If people get started, we got them started right away. They didn't have to wait and things like that. But Reliv is so good at getting orders out, so the waiting time isn't that long in that. And I am going to switch over to Joyce.
Oh my goodness, you guys would laugh so hard if you could see the backside of what's going on here. I had the dog outside. I dropped the phone in the snow. So sorry for that. But this is what, in a way, this is how Reliv is. You do it around life. I've, worked with moms with little kids and babies, and we all have life right around what we're doing. And so I'm looking at some of your comments, Robert Laird. We just need a puppy cam. Very funny, very funny. Yes, well. And then the puppy doesn't always quite make it out the door, or I miss the signal when it first happens. So anyway, all that was going on. So as you ask for that decision, a lot of times I love to sort of get into people's worlds and hear their stories and where they're coming from. And, sometimes I'll ask people, what would you like to have more of? What would you like to not have? Most people it's stress and that type of thing. But, I love even saying, like, at the end of a meeting, if someone's at a presentation or an in-home, I'll say, what did you like about what you saw or what you heard? Those are different things that I love to just to kind of find out. I will be honest with you, when I first started this business, I was afraid of this. I was afraid to ask for the decision. I didn't want someone to say no. And so Steve talked about, people that just talk and go on and on and on. That was me. That was totally me. But now I think what I love is that I've come to realize that my job is to give people information, to educate. I have no control over the decision they're going to make. It's not about how any words I say or how good I am. It's about, are they ready, and is this going to meet a need that they have right now? And it might be later, and you just never know. We just recently reconnected with the daughter of one of our very first master affiliates. And, she's grown now and same age. She was the same age as our son, and she's got people interested. She's becoming a distributor. She's coming to, we have an event next week with Ryan and Tom Pinnick here, and and so you just never know. But she knew to reach out to me, and she, so you being present and keeping relationships open and going. We've been friends for a long time now on Facebook, and that's how, we kind of reconnected. And so there's so many ways just to stay connected with people and to ask for that decision. I will share a story too with a couple that the gal that owns this studio where I'm teaching the Pound Fit. She said, we're really wanting to do something to stay healthy and be healthier and all of that. And she said, we're really intrigued about Reliv. And, she knew we did it. I think she kind of looked it up. And I said, well, and you know what else, Jamie? I said, you guys are in your own business. We were in our own business when we started doing this. I said, what I love about Reliv is it's a way for you to improve your cash flow without increasing your overhead. And guys, that is a big thing for people that own their own business, because your cash flow is always it's always tight. It's always hard. Cash flow is always an issue. And when they can do this and improve their cash flow without affecting their overhead, that gets their attention. So I know that's a little off the track of asking for a decision, but, and I always say, hey, it's not going to hurt to learn more, for sure. So, and you want to be prepared. Know how to get someone signed up online, or if you're on the phone and they're long distance, know how to work the website. We have one of the Reliv personal websites. I love that because I can take people right there. They can click join. Do you want to be a customer, preferred customer, a distributor? We can talk about the different levels, so all of that works really, really well. And we've got the super pack for people to get started. We've got the fit kit. And right now in December, we've got that special of free shipping on a quick start master affiliate. Free shipping is a big deal. And so I love having that to offer people as well. So take advantage of those things. And the more connected you stay with Reliv, the more you know about those and understand them, so know what's available for people when you're talking to them. And again, ask questions, listen. Some people, when they're like, right now I just want to get started on the product. Okay, great. What is it that you'd like to see the product do for you? A lot of times I'll ask that because they've heard all this information. They've heard some stories. They might have related to a story and you don't know. So I'll ask that. Sometimes, we'll go through kind of a head to toe. I tell people a lot of times, you could have small issues that Reliv's going to help with that you don't even notice them when they're gone. So let's kind of do a little inventory of where you're at right now. That's sort of how I like to do that with people. I also try very carefully to not say to people, if they say, well, I'm dealing with high cholesterol, I don't say, well, Reliv's going to solve that. I say, you know what? There's lots of stories of how Reliv has benefited people, and I'd love for you to hear those because you never know what's going to happen when you put this product in your body. Your body's the miracle. We give it what it needs, and then your body's capable of doing all kinds of things. And I sort of look at it that way. I will also, ask them, do you want to look at ways that you can save? Again, you can save on shipping. You can be at 25%. So I like to give people the options, but meet them where they're at. If they're looking at building a business, again, I'll talk to them about the different ways to get started. I love that. The tool that we have about that, where you can show people the different options. You can write on that for them. They can take it home, think about it, or, they might decide right then and there. So, I know when we decided to get our whole family started on the product, it made sense for us to buy it at a discount. We started at that 25% profit level. Back then it was $700. Now it's $500, but that's where we started because we thought, well, we'll get product for our family. We'll have product for a few months. We didn't realize that, it was the middle of the month, and we didn't realize that by the end of that month, we were going to be needing more product because we had people started. And from a business standpoint, it made sense to us to be at that highest profit level of master affiliate. We were going to earn the most amount of money for our time, and have products for our family at the best price. So that made sense to us, and that's why we did that. It's not because we had the money, because we didn't. We used a charge card for our cash flow, but that worked out. It worked out very well for us. So So again, and a lot of times too, as people have heard these stories and stuff, they're thinking of people. And Steve talked about, helping them get that list started right away when they become distributors. But sometimes even in an appointment, I'll ask people, or people start thinking about people. I'm like, write down your Aunt Carolyn, write down your sister Kathy and your brother-in-law Tom. Write those names down, because whether you decide to do the business or not, you might want to refer them. But if you do decide to do the business, these are people you're going to want to talk to. And again, they've brought them up in conversation. So that's kind of how I like to do that. And always review profit options with people, and even if they start one way at the beginning of the month, towards the middle and the end of the month, talk with them about what their options are. Because you just never know what people want to do. But if they don't have the information, they can't make the decision. So it's not about pushing people to do something. It's about giving them all the information so they can make an educated decision. And then, register and go. It couldn't be easier now, really. I mean, you can do it by paper and fax. Most of ours happens right online. And, I love that. I think it keeps it really simple. And then following up with people, I keep that simple too. I love to text. People like that, and sometimes we'll text and maybe set up a time for a call, or I'm just texting and saying, hey, how's it going? What's, Fit 3, I have like a group text that where everybody doesn't see all the text. I have an app that keeps that from happening, but it's a great way, to stay in touch with people. I have a gal that's on Fit 3 down in Texas, and she said, yeah, just touch base with me through Facebook Messenger and stuff once a week. She doesn't really have time for a phone call, but people want to know that you care, how they're feeling, how they're doing and stuff. So, I find that's great. If they're local, love getting together with people maybe once a week and working out, and, just kind of that is huge when it comes to the Fit 3, I think, is staying connected with people and making it fun, and that group effort. People like that community aspect of it. So, and then, I will, when I'm following up with people, I don't keep asking every time, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? But I'll just say, hey, there's some new recipes out. How's it going mixing your shakes? Are you interested in any recipes, or are you happy with the way it's going? I'll ask people if they're what kind of results they're seeing. I usually don't ask that till about day 10 or later. If they're noticing anything before that, they will usually tell you. So, and I love connecting people to hear stories, or there's lots of ways, through the webinars and sending people recorded stories and stuff like that. So, again, the stories, I still believe the stories are really relatable for people. And so it's just kind of working with their schedules and their time frames, And again, as people hear those stories, or, a lot of times they're thinking of other people. And I don't always ask that, who do you know who could benefit from these products or this business? It depends. I wait until the relationship has been with Reliv has been a little more solidified with people. I don't ask that all along. But a lot of times they'll volunteer that, especially if you're listening and asking questions. And again, use your common sense. It's not going to be the same for everyone. And so I try to really pay attention to that and use that common sense. And, when someone becomes a distributor now, it's, I want to help them start building their storybook. I want to help, Steve talked about that belief in the beginning. I want to help build and solidify their belief in what they have a hold of here. And so I'll do that, getting them connected, getting them some success quickly is so helpful as well. People definitely want to know, that this is going to work. And so, when they get their first customer and stuff, it's exciting. It's exciting for them. So, and I'll show them, some of the different things, having a website, how to get people signed up, their RCN number, how to use that type of thing. And then I review for them what's available in their area. Whether it's the Monday night, we have a Monday night webinar that we do 7:30 Central Time every week. In fact, Quila's hosting it this Monday. That's available to people. There's conference calls at 10 a.m. on every morning, I believe, Monday through Friday as well, that different ambassadors host. This training webinar, again, getting people connected to that. Definitely the Monday night, the podcast. I love, having that for people, showing them on the website where to look at events. I loved working with Danielle, the gal that I said is just coming back. She was 6 years old when we introduced her family to Reliv, but she's like, yeah, I saw there was an event in the area, and she'd already seen that on the Reliv Facebook page and had already clicked that she was going. So show people how, the tools and how they can stay connected to Reliv. That's really our job with people. So I think that that's really, really important. And there's so many tools. And here's the thing I will tell you guys. Tom Pinnock has told us, and everyone is so excited about the tools that are, there's some great new tools coming and that they're working on hard there at corporate for us. And it's going to get even more exciting. And again, I talked about know the events and what's going on in your area. Oh, my gosh. Karen Eder shared about the success they had with in-homes while Ryan was there. I know Steve mentioned that on our ambassador call. And the way they had them set up, Ryan talked about it was the culture. You went into someone's home, it was networking, and, there were snacks, and so it was very relaxed. They did a short presentation. They kind of shortened up the regular Tuesday night slides, but they did a shortened presentation, and then again more networking afterwards. And most of the stories, Karen said, that people heard was through the networking with other people, and so it was kind of more one-on-one, but they had a lot of amazing things happen out of that. And what was neat is that it was such a welcoming, warm culture that some of the people that attended now want to do it in their home. So in-homes can be just a great way. It's just a great way to introduce people to Reliv and just creating a fun, warm, welcoming culture around it and environment for people. So, you want to – Steve and I, no matter how busy and crazy our lives get right now, like right now our daughter and his wife and 3 grandkids are living with us till December 29th, and so it's a little crazy when you add 5 people and a new puppy in your home, and the kids are 7 down to 2.5, but we still try to do a little something every day. It might be texting, it might be a call, it might be, inviting people to the event we have Tuesday. If you get that focus and that commitment to your business, that little bit that you do, because that's how we started. We could only do a little bit, but we were very consistent. Just like we need to be consistent with the products, you need to be consistent with the business. And, no matter if you're new, it's not so much an issue, but as you've been around a while, it's okay, where am I going to find people to talk to? So what can you do? Are there networking groups? Or, getting out and about? What are things you love to do? Maybe building a Facebook page around things that you love to do and people, or a Facebook group, and start that interacting and conversations, and a lot happens in those types of things. So I just really encourage people in that way, finding people to talk to, because that's the big thing in our business, and that's a daily thing. Now, this time of year, the holidays, you know how many people are working retail as a second job this time of year? And so it's a great way if you can strike up a conversation. Oh, how long have you been here? Oh, I'm just here through the holidays. Oh, what is it that you do? Do you work full time? You just strike up those conversations and things will go. And that's the thing that I find, the things that corporate provides, the Monday podcast, The support tools, reliv.com Get Started is a great place to go and look. We've got the big Porta Vallarta Challenge going on, and Reliv introduced a fun new way for the month of December to earn this challenge. So you can go on the website to get all the details, but right now it's still there's still cash available if you earn it the original way, which is 10 new quick starts and 5 master affiliates. And anybody that does that is going to earn, I think they're down to fourth place, which is $2,000, but then everyone after that's going to earn $1,000. There's a lot of people, they said on the ambassador call, that are right there. So you've got that way, but now in December, if you qualified as a master affiliate before August 2017, any new business that you have from August through December, that's going to be accumulated, and you're going to earn the trip, the top 10 PGPV for August through December. That's for all of us old-timers, and all of us that have been around and been master affiliates since prior to August. But if you have a new master affiliate that just got started, say, since August, if they finish in the top 5 in December, they can earn the trip. So how exciting is that for brand new people? So again, make sure you know these things and know the details so that you can promote it. And then, of course, the free shipping that's going on right now. And we've also got these live events. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but this is the last month of the 90-day challenge through Fit3. And the winner and a guest are going to get all their expenses paid to Anaheim and have a spa retreat there. So how exciting is that? And that's coming up in April. And then in October, we've got Orlando. So how fun. Make sure that people know about these, that they're getting registered for them. There's nothing like a live event, and these are going to be really incredible. So you want to engage your team, as I talked about, helping people develop a library of stories, whether you're working sideline, upline, doesn't matter. Just get people to be a part of the community of Reliv. You build those relationships, and that's how people get to that ambassador level. Make sure you're staying engaged yourself, on the Facebook page, the Instagram. I mean, you might not do all of that social media. I do. I love it. But, the more that you engage on there, I've seen people put comments that had questions about Reliv that I've reached out to. So, stay engaged online with Reliv as well. Make sure you're getting the text messages. There's been little challenges coming over for Fit3 and stuff. And then make sure you get together with your team and set goals. Find out what people want. This is the time of year, right? January is coming. It's a big goal-setting time of year. But, what would they like? How would they like to see themselves when 2019 rolls around? That's the thing I'm going to ask people at the beginning of 2018 is what would you like 2019 to look like? And what can we do this year to help you get there? It's really, I think that's a big thing for people. Maybe they want to be in a certain size or a certain weight by January of 2019. Great. What can we do to get you there? So maybe they want to have a certain amount of income, or maybe they've got a child going off to college and they want to have, stuff to give their child. I mean, there's so many different things that you can look at. Maybe they need a new car. How can we get you there in 2018? And then look at those daily activities, and here's what we need to do. And, staying consistent, all of that is huge. Because when you do that, that's going to duplicate. And our business it's about teaching and training people to teach and train people. So we want to keep it simple and fun. Don't be overprotective with people. Don't tell them not to do anything without you. I don't say that to people. I say, hey, you know what, this is what I would suggest the more we do together. But you know what, sometimes people go off and want to just get it started on their own. I just say, hey, that's great. Just include me with whatever you can. Let's do stuff together. And if you get frustrated, please come back, and let's look at things together. But it's about who are we going to talk to next. Steve and I earned a Dr. Ted plaque in October, and again, it's because we're always looking for new people to talk to. We're always talking to new people amidst the chaos that we might have in our lives, the ups and the downs, and as chaotic as it is right now, it's going to get real quiet around here December 29th when our son and daughter-in-law and 3 grandkids pull out. And I want to have stuff going on in January so that I'm not feeling so sad about them being gone. But, that's kind of what it's about, is what's next, who's next, what's next, what are you going to do to finish the year strong, to set yourself up for 2018. And I know that it takes some thinking about that and planning about that, but don't just think it's going to happen. It does take some commitment and planning and thought process. So, invite yourself into that thought process. And if you like doing it with someone else, or you and your spouse want to do it, I encourage you to take that time. Get a little notebook and start thinking about, you can wait till New Year's Eve if you want, but just start writing down what all do you want to have happen in 2018 for you and your family. And whether it's health, fitness, finances, lifestyle, just start writing it all down and then get together and say, okay, what do we need to do to accomplish this? That's the end of our Saturday morning training. I am going to end the recording. Bear with me one second.